Right it goes. All right, here we go here. Blink. All right. Well, thank you very much for being here. Welcome to the How to Attract High Quality Clients from LinkedIn in 2024. I'm just going to mute everybody. There you go here, mute. And um, yeah, LinkedIn has changed my life. I've been doing this for 17 years, man, plus. And I joined LinkedIn back in 2006. I think LinkedIn started 2003, and it literally has been one of the greatest discoveries for myself. Not that I didn't work really hard at it, figure out how to use it properly, but if you're looking for leads for your company and looking to expand your reach out there in the world, LinkedIn is your absolute best bet. In the last 17 years, I've probably saved myself probably over $300,000 now, as I used to spend $2,000 or $3,000 a month every single month on like Facebook ads and Google AdWords and SEO for my website, and just like chasing the never-ending treadmill. As you all know, SEO, which stands for search engine optimization, for getting your website on page one of Google. Well, Google changes the algorithm like 20 times a month. So, hitting that mark is really, really hard. Please send me a connection request. Here is my LinkedIn profile URL. I'm asking you to send me one because I'm usually out, as I'm a serious person marketing on LinkedIn all the time. So if you can send me one, I will be sure to accept it today. So, you know how we've all been on webinars beforehand where no one participates, no one says nothing in the chat box, no one opens their microphone and says hi. And that really sucks because you can just see the pain in the person presenting they see no one's actually communicating at all. So I would appreciate very much. I'm giving you my time. Please give me your cooperation. Let's participate today, communicate, have fun. And if you stay to the very, very end today, I'll be sending you over some great post-webinar special gifts like PDFs and reports and things like, content marketing information, when to post, how to post, those kind of things. And once again, everybody who stays to the very end here, if you leave 5 minutes early, it's not, I consider that staying to the very end still, but I'll be sending you the replay here. Right? So, everybody, to say that you're going to participate, please put a Y in the chat box right now. So I know everybody's on board with this because I'm going to work really hard for you guys. Just type a Y in the chat box, please. And I'll wait till you all do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep on going. Keep on going. Got almost 20 people on here. Want to see 20 Ys. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate it very much. Okay, so LinkedIn can be challenging. If you agree that it can be challenging as far as how to navigate it, what to say on it, like you want to use it for lead generation or marketing, or just to expand your database, but you find it challenging, once again, type a Y or an N in the chat box. Why? I don't mean Y as in Y, WHY. I mean Y is just as a letter Y. So some people find people at LinkedIn confusing, hard. Yeah, they're coming out with it. I find the biggest thing on LinkedIn is they come up with so many new features, which I'm going to tell you about today, but they're really terrible at advertising or letting people know what those new features are or how to use them properly. And I want you to know, hey Chris, how you doing? I want you to know that LinkedIn is confusing and is hopefully I'll demystify some of it today for you because, like I said beforehand, it's become my my sole source of lead generation for the last 17 and a half years. And unlike anything else I've done, like I said beforehand, SEO, other websites, TikTok, and other crap like that, Facebook, uh, you know, I found that LinkedIn has been a very, very steady source of leads for me. So why am I qualified to teach you? Well, I've been doing digital marketing before I did LinkedIn specifically. I did website design and digital marketing for 27 years. I'm a father of two beautiful girls and a beautiful wife. I've been a LinkedIn trainer for 17 and a half years. I've generated millions of dollars for my clients. And once again, I'm going to try to give you some great information today. Now, I was sick a little while ago, so I apologize if I'm coughing a little bit today. Still in my lungs, trying to get rid of it. Um, so, and don't believe what I say. The first thing I want to tell you, write this down. Like I said beforehand, everybody should have a pad of paper and a pen. The first thing you need to know is recommendations are really important on LinkedIn. Recommendations are over here. And where is my thing here? I'll go back over here. Recommendations are like Google reviews or testimonials, and I think that they're very, very important. Um, how many of us have gone to Amazon and bought something, but look at the recommendations beforehand, those reviews beforehand to make sure you're making the right choice. And if you don't see some great recommendations on there, then maybe that's not the right product for you. So having recommendations like on LinkedIn here, don't believe me, believe the 142 people who have written about me, latest one being in July of 2024, and maybe have some recommendations, but maybe haven't gotten any in the last couple of years. You should always be working on getting the recommendations as people are going, well, if you haven't gotten any in the past couple of years, what have you been doing the last couple of years, right? So that's really important. And one of my small claims of fame is this guy, Freddie Ravel, client of mine, used to be the only white guy ever in Earth, Wind, and Fire, of all things. I'm sure you guys all know about September, right? So, why LinkedIn? Well, first of all, I'm not sure if anybody's ever heard this phrase here, the money's in the list. Well, LinkedIn has a list as LinkedIn hit 1 billion people plus back in November of 2023. And because it's constantly growing, when I tell my clients or people I talk to, you know, you can get a never ending stream of leads from LinkedIn. Like on my website over here, it's not hyperbole. I honestly believe you can never run out of leads from LinkedIn if you do it properly, because the database is always growing on there. And you can really niche into the database with some of the premium memberships like Sales Navigator, as far as creating what I call your search strings. A search string is simply when you do a search on LinkedIn and then you put all your filters on there, and afterwards, you know, you can get a really strong database of good people on your list here. And that's what I find also is that the reason why people sometimes are not getting responses, like how many of you have gotten people on your profile as far as first connections, but then once you message them, like no one's replying to you, and either your messages are too salesy or too spammy, or you didn't get the right people in front of you who need your service. And so, by having a really strong filtering system, which Sales Navigator has, you can really laser target and zero in on having the right people come to your profile and accept your connection request. So LinkedIn, like I said, started in 2003. Microsoft acquired it in 2016 for $26 billion. That's a good payout, eh? 190 million users plus are in North America. And out of all the other social media platforms, I find LinkedIn is the only one has consistently, and that's consistently, provided me with great leads. And that's really important because, if something all of a sudden dries up for you and you spend a lot of time learning how to use it, then that kind of sucks, right? You spend so much time using it, like all of a sudden LinkedIn dried up for me. I'd be really, really sad because I spent last 17 and a half years trying to figure out how to get people to respond to me and how to use it properly, which I believe I've done. And then also a nice big takeaway from LinkedIn is out of all the social media platforms, LinkedIn has the highest per capita income of all the platforms, with more than on the average person on LinkedIn earns more than $80,000 per year. Why is that important? Because the people on LinkedIn have the money to spend in your services. So, um, LinkedIn has 310 million active users per month. LinkedIn users log into the platform daily. So, a lot of people use LinkedIn. Let's say if you have, or that's what it would be, 160 billion people or 160 million people every single day log in the platform, or out of, a billion people. And you can see the age demographic. These are your, probably right here, these two here are probably the two biggest age demographics, 25 to 54. those are the people who have money, and those are the people who can buy your services from you. And so, and then the gender thing, and that's one of the things that really, really bothers me about LinkedIn. No gender filter, right? I wish I could have a gender filter on there and have only women or only men, because sometimes I have female clients who are doing women only marketing or women only events, and you got to filter through all the guys on the list after you scrape it. So that's kind of challenging. But LinkedIn, like I said, I believe personally is the best bang for your buck. So people keep asking me for the being able to get the AI note taker. I'm doing that already. Anybody who stays to the end will get that. To stay to the end, you'll have it, all right? So on average, people spend 7 minutes per day on LinkedIn. It might sound like a lot of time, but they're checking their messaging. They can see your messages on there. And so another big stat is 96% of B2P marketers for organic social marketing use LinkedIn, right? So that's huge numbers. And that should tell you something that of all the places you can do marketing on, LinkedIn is probably, once again, your best bet. And marketers see up to a 2 times higher conversion rates on LinkedIn compared to other social media platforms. So now that we've established LinkedIn's where you should be, let's tell you how to use it a little bit better. And you can see this little graphic, and I'll send you this thing here if you want me to, when you stay to the very end here. And you can see this, the timeline, and that'll be on the recording afterwards. You want to take a screenshot of this, you can also. But yeah, I mean, LinkedIn, like it's the bomb, man. And does this sound familiar for you on your normal marketing? No more long hanging fruit, your calendar's empty, or you get people on LinkedIn who are trying to book meetings with you, just like meet and greets, right? Not people that are serious about buying your services. If you send the right kind of messaging on LinkedIn, which we'll talk about today, then you'll get people coming to your meetings knowing they're on a sales call to buy your services. But once again, you got to do the messaging correctly. So I believe there are 4 pillars of success on LinkedIn for 2024. What is the strategy? And the 4 pillars, I believe, is one write down for yourself on your pad of paper, is the first thing is having an amazing LinkedIn profile. Not just good, but amazing, right? Having the right kind of cover banner, the right kind of copy on your headline, which we'll talk about, the right kind of copy in your about section, having rich media on your profile, creating rich media for a profile, right? So next thing is consistency. When people come to me for my service, usually we have a debriefing beforehand, and they tell me they haven't been consistent. Like they've been doing, a lot of stuff for 1 week, and then nothing the next week, and then nothing maybe for 2 weeks, and then back to it again, where you're posting and you're not getting the consistency you need to build your followers and build your first connections. And also, are you building relationships on LinkedIn as opposed to just adding new contacts? When someone accepts your connection request, are you trying to talk to them afterwards? Are you trying to find out what they need afterwards? Right? Next thing is, do you have an authentic content marketing and content engagement strategy? And by authentic, uh, I've seen the trend, and probably you have too, that people on LinkedIn in 2024, especially I've seen, are looking to find out more about you, right? Who are you? What do you believe in? If you just post, your stuff for your business, like buy from me, buy from me, buy from me on your business, no one's going to give a shit. But I've done videos and done content marketing on, like, when I broke my leg 5 years ago and how my family took care of me. I did a video on I've been working out since I was 13 years old, and now at 61, so important for a business owner to be exercising on a regular basis. So I did a video just on that. Nothing about my business, nothing about anything else, nothing about buying from me, but just a video on the importance of working out when you're a business owner and how it helps your mind and body and stress levels. And last thing is, are you using the LinkedIn event platform to create your own LinkedIn events like I'm doing today? Out of the billion plus people, I'd say maybe, 20 million people maybe are using the LinkedIn event platform, which is great news for you, because if you start doing this like I'm doing it on a regular basis, then you can have a big leg up on your lead generation and marketing. People want to know who you are, right? And I have had so many people, tell me after one of these webinars here, I saw you talk, I saw you speak. liked what you said, looked professional. And that's the big thing, because when you finally get somebody to come to your profile on LinkedIn, when you finally get somebody to engage with you, right? Then, that's so important. And you want to make sure that they go on your profile and, they don't just see a blank banner, and in your headshot you're smiling, and your copy over here tell people what you do and why they should hire you as opposed to somebody else, right? I'll now have almost 31,000 connections and followers on LinkedIn, and a lot of that, building that for myself, I attribute to not posting stuff in my business, but posting stuff on me. So you can click on my little bell over here. It's a pencil icon for me, but if you see my profile from your side, it's a little bell here. So when I post content on LinkedIn, you can be notified. That's really, really important. You see my little click on the bell, never miss a thing here. So let's talk about your profile first. It's got to be more than an online business card. Like I said, if you just have like I'm the CEO of my company, nobody cares. Your competition is starting to take LinkedIn seriously. If you don't, guess what? They're stealing your leads. So you need to get serious on LinkedIn to grow your audience, to become, more in your comfort zone, to being authentic, which means talking about yourself on LinkedIn and creating some great content. Lets people know not only, what your business does, but also who you are and what you believe in. You believe in charities, you believe in other things, you believe in family. Let people know it on LinkedIn, right? I'm going to do a video. My father passed away in March of last year, and I still haven't done a video on grief for business people, because it's been really hard, right? So anybody who's lost a parent, you know what I'm talking about. So this is a statement I saw on LinkedIn from a big LinkedIn influencer. If your profile lacks professionality, you haven't paid attention to your personal brand, I can't see how adding you to my profile as far as my connection, is of value to me. So, don't send those dumb messages to people that say, hey, I can get you 10 leads. Like, I don't do this. I can get you 10 leads on LinkedIn right off the bat without knowing who they are or what they're about. You want to make sure that you send messaging on LinkedIn that can help somebody, that can make their life better. The giver's gain, right? Or giver's mindset, right? You want to make sure that you are giving before you're asking. And then the next thing is, have someone, either yourself or have someone who's great at creating these things, create an outstanding cover banner for you, as well as a nice headshot. If this is what people see, that you're the president of a big company and you have no headshot and you have no banner, right? And if you're trying to use LinkedIn for marketing lead generation, they're going to go, well, no, doesn't look professional at all. So what's better, this or having a banner like one of these here? So all these different banners of people I've seen, some I've created myself, but you want to make sure that you're doing this. And if you notice this, except for maybe this guy up top over here, but everybody's like smiling in their banner. So it's very, very important. Um, Everyone's heard the saying, you only get one chance to make a first impression. You got to make sure that is outstanding. People nowadays will decide whether or not to accept your connection request a lot of times from my network tab, which is this one over here. So this one over here, you can see all the people who sent you an invitation, right? And did they put a message here? I see Lindsay's trying to connect with me. I'll accept that. Thank you, Lindsay, very much. And, make sure that you just tell me that if you're sending me a connection request, like I asked you to beforehand, that you just say you're my workshop today, and I'll make sure I accept it from you, all right? So very, very important. If you don't have a great headshot and a great banner, right? All these things, basically are people not saying they're not going to connect with you at all. So make sure they have those two things taken care of properly. Here's the screenshot or the bar I send people when they sign up for my program. Notice everybody in the pictures here are smiling, right? So you want to make sure your picture looks professional. You can see it. It's not dark. It's not, cloudy. You make sure that you're not cutting yourself out another picture where you're beside somebody and you're like at a wedding or something. And you don't have to take a professional headshot. You don't have to go to a professional photographer, but have your husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, somebody in your family or someone you know as far as your business goes, just take a great picture of yourself, landscape, which is turning your phone sideways. So it's not up and down, but sideways. And make sure, like I said, you're smiling. Now, if you run a resort business, wear a Hawaiian shirt and hold a tropical drink in your hand. But if you're, an accountant or some professional, people want to trust you. So I think wearing professional business attire and smiling is very, very important to make sure that people want to work with you, because you can work with people like we've all worked with assholes beforehand, right? And we've all worked with clients who are absolutely amazing beforehand, right? Who wants to work with assholes, right? So make sure, that whole thing of being stoic in your cover shot and your banner to make sure people know you're serious. They don't want serious. They want someone to work with who they like, right? So as long as you can do the job properly by showing what your skills are on your profile, make sure your headshot is your profile, right? So why optimize your profile? It's called LinkedIn SEO. I think I mentioned that beforehand, SEO, search engine optimization. And it is making sure you have the, things on your LinkedIn profile that if you type something here like lawyer, right? Who shows up? First of all, it's people in my area, so people from Calgary. Secondly, it's people who have the word lawyer as the first key phrase in their profile. See, he has this only lawyer and that's it, but he's from Calgary, right? So if you look over here on my profile, go back to it here. Come on. There we go. Here. The first key phrase I have in my banner is LinkedIn lead generation expert. If I was going to go into Google and type in the Google search bar the service I'm trying to find, that is what you want to have in here. But don't spam it. Don't put like LinkedIn lead generation expert, comma, LinkedIn lead generation expert over and over again. That's called keyword stuffing. It doesn't look normal. It doesn't look great. So, but then you want to make sure that you have all the other things in here also, which I'll talk about in a second. Next place you want to put LinkedIn SEO is in your about section. Here's the same key phrase over here, LinkedIn lead generation expert. So you want to make sure that you do these things, as well as look at this over here. I'm not sure. I just saw it the other day. It says my profile was Allstar. Yeah, I just saw it. Like it had it here, and then it's gone now. But it had a message over here this morning um, that has said profile Allstar. So LinkedIn will tell you as you scroll down, see this little section over here where it says more, add profile section and open to. As you scroll down, it'll give you that little thing here saying, how complete your profile is, and it'll tell you what you need to do to complete your profile. And you want your profile to say all star at the very end. Very, very important for getting that bump in the search results. Your headline, don't use the title of what you do, president of my company, right? Don't make it general. And write this down here. The 4 things people want to know when they come to your profile and look at your cover banner are: who are you? What do you do? What can you do for me? And this is the big one. You got to ask people, ask your husband, ask your wife, ask your fellow co-workers, why you? Why should they use your services as opposed to the hundreds or thousands of other people on LinkedIn who do exactly what you do? I know it's like it should be like an elevator pitch. It should just roll off your tongue, and you got to be able to communicate that on your profile properly. Why me? I've been doing this 17 and a half years. I have all the data on my computer from people whose profiles and programs have worked. I know the messaging people want to know in LinkedIn nowadays. And I'm the only company, I believe, that when people hire me from a LinkedIn lead generation program, that I do content marketing for them. So no one else, as far as any of the LinkedIn lead generation companies, do content marketing, and especially boost the content. So the thing is for LinkedIn algorithm that if your content is consumed properly within the first 90 minutes of you posting it, that's 90, then LinkedIn's algorithm goes, your content isn't important and we don't give a shit about it, and neither should your first connections. And therefore, we're going to shrink your audience from all your followers or first connections over here to 10% only. So it's very, very important that you have, ongoing engagement on your posts. Like, for instance, on this one I did this morning, my profile makeover post and my video I created the other day. This one over here, here it is, post. So I got 23 impressions so far. This was just posted about an hour and a half ago. 120 likes and 42 comments. So it's very, very important. On this one over here from my cool video I did, I'll show this to you for a second here. Share computer sound. Go back to the very beginning here. This is cool. I worked really hard on this one here.
Seen and heard is a battle. You need to stand out to grow your business. And more importantly, stay relevant. But how do you do that when it feels like everything is moving so fast?
Why haven't you thought of exploring LinkedIn?
How do you future-proof yourself when what dazzled your audience yesterday may not even draw their attention tomorrow? Fear not.
That's one thing I really try to concentrate on for my clients and myself personally. Write this down for yourselves. What can I do differently on LinkedIn that nobody else in my industry is doing? And I thought, I can niche into Pixar style video creation just for something different for a change, and do cool videos like this over here. This one over here has had 83 likes, 33 comments, and almost 500 impressions since yesterday. So, all those things are very, very important. And you got to think about all those things at the same time. That's why you sometimes hire me, because, I don't fix my own car engine. I don't fix my air conditioner, right? I'm not the expert in those things. So the guts of your LinkedIn profile about section, right, is very, very important. Once again, making sure that you have a about section that doesn't just have about what you do, but who you are and what can you do for me. That's the big one. What can you do for me? Your profile should answer, what can you do for me? And the same thing as your headline, right? So all the different things, right? The profile about section should address your target audience's pain points, like on a regular basis when people first hire you. Pardon me. What do they keep on asking you to do first for them? So those are the pain points you need to be talking about in your content marketing, and also your about section and your headline. So those are really important also. People also ask me, well, I do about 5 different services. Should I create multiple LinkedIn profiles? And the answer is no. You want to create multiple experiences on your profile, like this over here. Here is my profile. Here's my experience section. And I learned something new today, that now I can also go in my experience section as far as my different positions in my company, what I do. I can click on the little pencil icon here, click on it again. There's something new that LinkedIn just recently added. I can add media. So I can add media here. I can add media as a link to a post, like I did here for my wizard video, and I can add either PDFs or static graphics as far as rich media on my experience section. Once again, to give people a little what I call the phrase, a little bit of sizzle your steak. So that's what people want on LinkedIn nowadays. People want 1 of 3 things for your content marketing. Write this down, please. They want to either A, be taught how to do something, B, how to solve a problem, or C, they want to be entertained. And entertainment can come in different forms. It can come in watching, a really cool video here that they can be entertained with, a video that makes them cry, little duckies, puppies, people coming home from service and surprising their family. And you got to look at that. It's really important, because if you go onto the LinkedIn feed here and see what people are saying and doing, and looking at the things over here. You want to see what people care about nowadays, right? So here's something that Vimeo did, the Video Marketing Handbook. Looks like it got a lot of engagement. Looks like it's been reposted a few times. So very, very important though. You start looking at the feed and seeing what pieces of content are being consumed and what pieces of content do people not care about at all. And a lot of times people don't really care about content about selling your business services, but you can find some creative way of doing that where you can sell your business services and get them to talk about something that's important to them. The two things I know we're seeing a lot of it now. The two things I tell my clients to stay away from normally is politics and religion. But very, very important that you know what is your audience. Maybe put in a survey, right? Maybe do a poll on your LinkedIn profile and ask people, hey, you know me from LinkedIn, what I do here. I'm thinking of creating more content and more stuff on LinkedIn. What are you interested in seeing? And maybe give them, 4 or 5 choices maybe in the poll. I thought 4 choices maybe, but I thought that was a really cool idea to get people choices and do a poll on what kind of content you want me to create. So as I said beforehand, doing different experiences on your profile is very important. And then here are some examples of what it can look like if you do a great, profile makeover, which I do for my clients also. But you need to do things. So, when Steve came to me and started working with me, this was a profile beforehand. You can see he's not smiling at all, no cover banner. His profile headline was executive director, so it was a feature. Is what he does, not what he can do for you, right? So we had to do some things, and very, very important. You're going to get a lot more people accepting your connection request when you have a profile that speaks to them and this looks more professional, right? So, hopefully you can see that these profiles look more professional. And who would you rather accept the connection request from? David on the left-hand side or David on the right-hand side? Here is Sharon, who came to me, owns a large construction company in San Francisco, and she wanted to be able to really start networking on LinkedIn with other companies who are looking for a construction company. And once we redid her profile, her acceptance rate for her connection request went up significantly, probably by about 50%. So 50. So it's really, really important. You have a professional kick-ass profile as the foundation for any LinkedIn marketing or advertising campaign. Next thing people ask me is, do you need a company page? And the answer is yes, almost because it's expected to look professional, like having a website. So, have you ever tried talking to someone about hiring for the services and that's what the website is and they said they didn't have one? How did that make you feel as far as being able to trust them? And once again, what I call the credibility hump on LinkedIn is once you get them to your profile, once you get them reading your messages, the 3 things they're going to look at is, write this down here, your company page, your personal profile, and your website. And you better make sure that all 3 things look pretty great, because guess what? Your competition has those great things. They have a great LinkedIn profile. They have a great LinkedIn company page. They have a great website. You need to make sure you have all those 3 things buttoned up properly. Otherwise, no no amount of messaging people on LinkedIn is going to produce great results, because people just won't respond. And if you're wondering why people aren't responding, that could be the reason, that you just don't look professional enough. Next, we're going to talk about is messaging. So this is really, really important in 2024. So many clients tell me, once again, they're getting people accepting their connection requests, but when they message them, no one responds. So first of all, number one, make sure your messages are not trying to sell them something, especially in the connection message, and especially when they accept your connection request. Don't send them a sales message the first thing afterwards, right? We've all had that happen before. Someone sends us a connection request, either with a message or no message at all. We accept it, and the first thing they're trying to do is pitch us. And you're going like, you don't even know if I know you need your services. You don't even know if I need you at all. Why are you trying to sell me your stuff? Why haven't you asked me a single question about me? So when you message people, don't try to sell them, but rather do one of the 3 things. offer them free advice or free service. Try to tell them that you can be a resource for them, right? If they have any questions about a certain field or a certain thing. And then look at their profile when you're talking to them, messaging them, and find common ground. What are their interests on their page? I mean, lots of different things you can see on their LinkedIn page here. Here it is. Go back one, and you can look at what part of the world they're in. You can look at what they're interested in. Go to the very bottom over here and look at interest, top voices, the companies they follow, right? The groups they follow, newsletters they follow, right? You can see all the different things that they might be interested in. And then you can craft a message if you want to that pulls in some of this information and talks to them about, hey, I saw your profile. I see that you're interested in networking, or I see you're interested in, courses, or I love what Mike said to you, or I love what Harry said about you on your recommendations. Like, let them know that you've actually seen their profile and actually have read some information on it. You'll get a lot better results as far as when you message them. Here's some examples of great profile headlines. Just going to put this in here in the chat box, so you can all can go there if you want to, or when you want to. Okay, and I'll talk about Canva afterwards and other things. Next thing we'll talk about is how to rank on LinkedIn, something called the LinkedIn SSI score. And SSI stands for Social Selling Index. I'll put this here. Click on this and then put your score in the chat box. It's two things. Number one, this is a sales tool for LinkedIn. It's actually a background sneaky sales tool for Sales Navigator, because when you click on these things, a little engage with insights or find the right people, it takes you to a Sales Navigator sales page. But it also is a good tool and good snapshot of where you are on LinkedIn, as far as, how are you doing establishing your professional brand? How are you doing finding the right people to connect to? How are you doing engaging with insights? How are you doing building relationships on LinkedIn? And so LinkedIn gives you a snapshot of where you are. And while the Sales Navigator piece is great, if you want to buy something for yourself, for a good filtering system on LinkedIn to find the right people, doing these things are very important. And the higher your score is, the more you'll have a chance of showing up first on the results page when someone is looking for your services in your city, like lawyer, like I said beforehand. And a way to bring your score up is to engage with other people's content. Like, if you see somebody that you'd love to have as your client, go onto their profile, go onto their posts, and comment, like, and share on their posts, and make sure you put that little thing @ in there that brings up their name, like on other social media things, websites, for tagging them. Basically, that'll let them know that you're looking at stuff and talking to them. LinkedIn will send them an email, and LinkedIn will let them know in the section here for notifications. So if you go to notifications here for a second, LinkedIn will tell you who's talking about you and who's commenting or responding to your comment. So very, very important. You can use this as a great tool for your marketing. The LinkedIn algorithm. So overall, in 2024, LinkedIn organic reach has gone down, but in terms of marketing and lead generation, the results remain consistent. I've been doing LinkedIn, I said before, since 2006. I've noticed periods myself of decreased or increased organic reach, but the decline is not limited to LinkedIn, but it's on all platforms. All platforms are trying to get you to spend money on paid for ads or paid for boosting. So what we can do here, work smarter, right? You can't control the algorithm, you can control over yourself. So you need to make sure that you know how the algorithm works. Number one, within 90 minutes of you posting a piece of content on LinkedIn, you need to be able to get the likes and comments that'll tell the algorithm that your content is important. I say like 20, 30 likes, 20, 30 comments within 90 minutes on a regular, consistent basis. Otherwise, LinkedIn will shrink your audience through 10% of your first connections and followers. And we might as well have everybody seeing your content on LinkedIn. Start by showing your audience who you are as a person. Like I said, people are not just interested in buying your stuff, they're interested in you. They're buying into you as a person as much as they're buying your services. So make sure that you have a smiling face and you're, nice, and you have great stuff for doing videos. Upgrade your equipment for podcasting, video creation, and live streaming. Make sure you have a ring light. Make sure you have a nice microphone. Something called Smart Mic. Write it down. SMARTMIKE. Look it on Amazon. That's the microphone I use for my content. So content marketing is very, very important in 2024. It can show you are the absolute authority in your industry by creating content marketing. Like, I've done tons of videos and things on how to do something on LinkedIn, right? How to get more engagement. I did a video on why joint venturing and collaboration is something you should be looking at. So when you're doing your marketing on LinkedIn, don't just look for the end user person to buy your stuff. Look for people along the way that can maybe help you, that can drive people to your profile, that can drive people or recommend you. I'm not going to show this whole thing here, the whole video, but I created this video here for everybody to look at to see what's happening as far as the algorithm goes for different kinds of posts. So if you stay to the very, very end, I'll send this to you as a PDF so you have your own thing, right? Let me see, hide this. I'll just show this for 1 second here. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the algorithm in relation to content marketing as far as text and image posts. This PDF that I found on the internet was by a guy named Richard Vanderbloom. Kudos to him and his team. Amazing guy. Look him up on LinkedIn and follow him. So like I said beforehand, I'm not going to show the whole video here, but I'll send this to you if you stay to the very end. Also, when you're posting your stuff, I noticed that for a client of mine, I couldn't figure out why his post wasn't showing up on his profile properly. Is because he'd been posting to groups only, and so he had the group button on as a default here. So make sure when you're posting, it's set to anyone, not connections only, not to groups. Once again, content marketing is so very important. There are different types of content on LinkedIn. There's static posts, which is a picture. There's videos. There's a PDF, which can be a slideshow on LinkedIn. There's polls on LinkedIn. So, but if you don't do it consistently, you're not going to get a great bump from your audience. Also, I'm sure everybody has heard of AI by now, and ChatGPT. So do me a favor, somebody in the chat box here. Thank you much for putting your numbers in. In the chat box, somebody put in a topic I can write a LinkedIn post about right now that ChatGPT will create for us in like 2 seconds. Just put some kind of phrase like, marketing for lawyers or, the importance of HR. Somebody put something in the chat box here. I'll grab it and create a post for LinkedIn right now. Authentic marketing in 2024. There it goes here. Perfect. Thank you very much, Amber Lee. So here is my ChatGPT, which I have the paid for version now. So I'm just going to move this out of the way here. Write a detailed LinkedIn post with 5 bullet points and lots of emojis on it's magic. So for creating content for LinkedIn or your overall marketing efforts, you definitely want to be using AI because I use it on a regular basis now. I don't do the only thing, like I won't just like take this and just post it as it is, but it's a great starting place for me where I can just copy this into a, you guys can hear that. Sorry about that. Not only someone, used for marketing, but also for, quick other things. Something other cool that someone just told me the other day on this is, let's say someone gave you a PDF that's like 22 pages from a company and you wanted to go through it. You can load up that PDF to ChatGPT and say in the prompt over here, read this PDF and give me the bullet points. and it'll read the whole thing for you in like 2 seconds, and then give you the most important pieces on the PDF you just wrote. So really, really, really cool stuff, man, for 2024. Here's some examples of videos I've created. This is kind of videos I produce for my company, and this is kind of videos you want to do for yourself. Once again, here's a video that has me in it.
You're not using LinkedIn event platform and it's costing you money. The LinkedIn event platform, what is it? In January 2020, LinkedIn launched a new product.
Here's one when I created one for my LinkedIn Get Out of Jail service, when people have been bounced off the platform and they think that they've been bounced off in a wrong way, and they've had 20,000 connections, and LinkedIn just turned off their profile. I've helped so many people get back on LinkedIn and get their profiles back.
Help, 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 help. I've been put in LinkedIn jail and I can't get out. Have you been put in LinkedIn jail and now you have a LinkedIn restriction on your account?
And last one is, like I said beforehand, what can I do differently for myself and my clients that no one else in the industry is doing on LinkedIn? And that's why I niched into Pixar-style videos.
Welcome to 2024. Our LinkedIn webinar is going to elevate you in your marketing and lead generation efforts in Q1. This is a live Zoom webinar, 100% free from the comfort of your own office.
So cool, eh? So, and what can that do? Well, you can turn your LinkedIn profile from just a outbound lead generation thing, outbound being you're messaging people, you're talking to people, you're posting content, to an inbound marketing platform where from your content, people are looking at you. And like I said before, and you see numbers here, 380 comments, 26,000 views, 500 comments, 27,000 views, 500 comments, 43,000 views, right? I mean, the numbers can be absolutely pretty amazing if you create the right kind of content for yourself and your audience. What can LinkedIn do for you? Well, if you look up this person, Bridget Hasianth, she has over 4 million, that's with the M, followers on LinkedIn. And I'm happen to be one of her 30,000 actual real connections. You can go to her profile and you can see the first connection thing beside her name. So, you can really build up a huge, huge list on LinkedIn. And guess what? She's booked all the time. She's a speaker, a keynote speaker for different things. Her thing is HR, and she's written books now. And I just seen her grow so much. When I first met her on LinkedIn, probably 10 years ago, she had braces and probably was in her early 20s. So, but you can really make a difference on yourself from LinkedIn. I remember I said that word, sizzle in your steak. People on LinkedIn want to be entertained. Rich media that is done with, like I said, background music and some special effects in the thing here, that's the sizzle. The steak is the actual content you're talking about. But the sizzle, you want to be able to entertain people. So if you entertain people, people will come to you in droves. Also, from your experience section, I mentioned beforehand, you can now add, your feature section, you now add a post, a newsletter, an article, add a link, or add media. So all you do is click on the little plus button by your feature section, and you can add all the stuff over here. And it's really, really important to do, because when people go to your profile on LinkedIn and they see this stuff, come on. Zoom always slows things down. And they see the feature section of my profile, and they can look at some of the stuff I've done, and people don't have this stuff over here, right? It's really, really important to have this great feature content, because people are looking for this, looking for, are you the person to work with? Are you the best in the business? Not only can you do things like, here's a video I did where last Halloween where I turned into a werewolf, right? And I thought it was just a fun video of something I can do.
Hey LinkedIn family, it's not your typical day on the professional network, is it? Well, it's almost Halloween, and guess what? I've got a transformation in store for you today. You might know me as a LinkedIn lead generation expert, but today I'm transforming into something a bit different. Are you ready?
just a bit of fun, that's all, right? But people like that kind of stuff, right? People like to see who you are as a person. So, doing that can really make a big difference. And there are too many special spammy messages on LinkedIn nowadays. People don't want to be sold in their sales message or connection message. People want to be helped out. So it's very, very important that you remember that. Number one thing people want to do to try to get engagement is asking leading questions, offer help and advice for free. I've done so many free analyses of people's profiles and free different things. And then once again, the LinkedIn event platform, we're doing the one today. And if you're not using LinkedIn event platform for yourself, you're literally missing out on a huge amount of marketing opportunity for yourself. So what can you do today for getting lead generation and marketing on LinkedIn working for you? We find that most businesses have three main mistakes they're making. They have no, existent lead flow. They don't have any automation going or any kind of system going on LinkedIn for getting new leads at all. They're don't have a non-existent warm-up system. Like you have people on your profile. Like how many people on your profile have you messaged in the last year? Have you ever messaged everybody in your profile? Have you ever talked to everybody in your profile at least once? So people usually have a bad or non-existent warm-up system, which means no ongoing messaging on your profile, your connections. They haven't heard from you in a year. They don't care who you are anymore, right? And they could be great clients for you, but you haven't done anything with them at all. And you're doing everything yourself, right? Like I said beforehand, I don't do my own air conditioning system. I don't fix my vehicle, my engine, right? I'll do small things, but I don't do everything myself. And maybe it's time for you also that you talk to someone about helping you out with this. I've helped clients, get years ahead on LinkedIn in only a few months. So we do a LinkedIn prescription for our clients, which is talking about your profile, your connections, your content marketing, conversations, conversions, which is very important. What is your conversion strategy on LinkedIn, right? Do you have one even? Do you have any plans or systems? How many leads do you need? Have you ever use a lead calculator for yourself? So, we do a customized prescription on LinkedIn. We can help you with everything. And the biggest thing is if you're not doing everything, do the right things consistently, right? So, some people I've helped out beforehand. David Crane, 85K in sales right away on LinkedIn. And then Tony doing $30 million in sales, custom woodworking guy, one of my biggest success stories, custom woodworking, had some big contracts with builders for building custom cabinets and custom things in people's homes with builders. So what do you need from LinkedIn? Do you need help creating an astounding profile for yourself? Would you like to have someone help you copyright your about section? Like someone come up with your messaging for you that actually will engage people and get conversions and are using any kind of automation, right? Do you have a paid membership on LinkedIn? If so, which one? Which one should you buy? Little known features on LinkedIn that actually convert to engagement. I can tell you about those also. What kind of content marketing are you creating? Are you using LinkedIn events? Do you have a hiring strategy for your company? Are you using LinkedIn groups? Are you using LinkedIn paid advertising? I'm sorry I couldn't cover absolutely everything today, but as you know, there's like so many things on LinkedIn you can do for yourself. And lastly, it's all about trust, right? I have 142 recommendations or 143 recommendations on LinkedIn, right? You want someone to work with you who knows what they're doing and you can trust, right? The reason people work with me, and I'll put my contact information to book a meeting with me in the chat box over here, is that I've been doing this for so long now. You can just check out my articles there and also book something in my calendar if you want to. And then also, if you want to receive all the free gifts I talked about, I have a feedback form. This would really help me out a lot as far as giving me feedback on my presentation today. Anybody who fills this out from today's thing will get the email that has everything in it, has that PDF about, different kind of posts you can do. I'll put some other great things in there. And if you want to have a free conversation with me on Zoom about your profile and just go over things, I'll be happy to give you some free tips if you fill out the feedback form. And then tell me if you want me to contact you on there also. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for being here today. I'm now going to open up the floor for a Q&A section. So if you can unmute yourselves on LinkedIn or on Zoom here, and or type a question in the chat box, I'd be happy to answer any and all your questions that are. Go ahead. Who's first? I'll just unstop the share for a second here. So unmute yourself, ask a question, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Okay. Yep, go ahead.
I just wrote them down. I wrote down your three things you can that people want to be taught how to do something and entertained, like a touching video. But what was the B? Because I missed it. I wasn't right.
How to solve a problem.
Oh, how to solve a problem, right?
How to do something, or how they want to be entertained. They want to laugh. They want to cry. They want to be entertained in some way.
Something emotional,
and hit the emotional button, right? It can be anything at all. Laugh, cry, make you happy, make you sad, pissed off, whatever.
Yeah,
but make them feel something, and then do a post about yourself, like, how is it? Are you a mom? Do you have kids? Are you married? How is it being a mother, an entrepreneur in 2024 with how many kids you have, or being married, or setbacks you've had maybe in life? Talk about those things. Those are the things that will really build up your profile as far as getting you more followers.
Is that under the how to solve a problem, or is that just?
Yeah, that would be more about the entertainment one. About they want to know more about you, right? Because when you would talk about you, right, they're talking about how it is to be a female entrepreneur in London or in UK in 2024, and you have two kids. I have two kids. I have two great girls, right? But the stresses of life nowadays after COVID, it was so weird, man. And then like I said, my dad died last year, so I do a post on grief.
Yeah, right. Okay. Now I have actually created, I don't know if this is really very wise. I've got a second LinkedIn profile because I work as a professional actor, but I also have my coaching business. And I find when I try and put them together, I don't know what to post about because I want to post for film industry and it's not really so relevant for people looking for coaching. Do you think it's better to combine the two and just bring that interest in?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think it's better to bring it in because number one, if LinkedIn finds out you have two profiles, they'll suspend both of them. That's the first thing.
Okay.
So that's against LinkedIn rules. So just create another experience for you.
Yeah. Okay. So just integrate it somehow.
Yeah, integrate it and then put some cool stuff on your experience. Like I said, you can add rich media. You can do some posts on your acting, career and put that in there, and then to do a post on how dealing with directors like coaching, or how dealing with the people on the set and being almost like a mom to all of them is like coaching, right?
Right.
I mean, there's so many things you can bring in there in your professional life on that side, to your personal life on this side, and your business life as a coach, right? And have you been in any commercials at all or anything at all? Be coach.
So my kind of thing is that I think that the power of story is a really great one because it's kind of what you're saying. Is
power story,
a message across. So I suppose I could combine those two.
You definitely could.
The websites are separate as well, just because my agent said.
Websites are separate, but LinkedIn profile should be one LinkedIn profile.
Right. Okay, that's really helpful. And I did have one other one. Just that when you said to message you to link with you, you said afterwards to message you. So I didn't message you. I've just followed you.
Yeah, that's fine. You can message. You can send me a connection request also.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So two other messages or things I saw here is Lisa and Anurag asked the same things. Basically, how do you increase your SSI score? The best way to increase your SSI score is to engage with other people's content. Share, comment on other people's content. And then if you think that the person that you're doing that with is someone you want as your client, then make sure you hashtag them with the @ sign in the messaging section to say, Dave or, Bob or Sophia or Guy, right? I saw your post about this over here. I totally agree. It was a great comment. Love to talk to you. Something like that. And that can also be a great way of getting someone into your world that normally might not respond. Anybody else have questions at all? I'm looking at the chat box. Unmute yourself, please, or put it in there.
I have another thing to ask when
Yeah,
you're
go
ready.
ahead. Yeah,
Well, it was just actually, years ago you used to, when you were in business, you tried to just do one thing, and now I notice when I go to like women's networking groups, everybody's got six different things they do, and I always feel a bit like an octopus on roller skates when I try and explain everything that I do, but they're all interlinked. Do you think it's better to, be that to pick your thing and really, really focus, or do you think people are quite accepting of the fact that lots of
yeah.
us do lots of things?
Yeah, I appreciate that. But if you want to really think about promoting the one service, what makes you money besides the acting stuff, which is a totally, I mean, I used to do commercials when I was younger. I love those residual checks. All of a sudden, it's like, shit, I need some money. All of a sudden, a new residual check will come in the mail. Be awesome, man. So, but people want to, know that if they're going to hire you, especially as a business coach or as a coach, they want to know that you're the guy or you're the gal. You're the best at the person for that coaching thing. Now, you can definitely talk about your other businesses and things you do and bring them in and show people how that increases your knowledge of coaching or increases your overall world knowledge of life in general that can help them, help you to coach them from your experiences. But you definitely want, I think, when you really, that's why I have on my profile, even though I've done website design and still do website design sometimes and other things, people want to know that I'm the LinkedIn wizard. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Come on.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Ellen. Hi, I'm Himangi and I'm from India. So I have like recently I've started my own business. It's into digital marketing only. And currently I'm serving clients who are based in India only, but my main target is to focus on international clients. And I'm like using LinkedIn very much. Like I'm very much active. I do posting, I do commenting, I do reposting, everything I do. So I just wanted to understand like how to approach international clients because I'm little bit struggling in that part, and I want to understand like how to approach what is the overall mindset if I want to conversion from any international clients, if you can help
And,
me
and
with
and
that.
by international, I think, hey Chris, thank you, buddy. And by international, I assume you mean North American clients because I've dealt with a lot of
Yes,
people in
yes,
India who want to
yeah,
deal with
yeah,
people in Canada and the USA.
right.
And um, how do you say this like in a way that's like it's not like a dick?
I'm really
People,
sorry.
people, people in North America are wary of working with people in India, right? They know that it's inexpensive, but I've worked with people in India beforehand, and the challenges I had beforehand was number one, communication. I would tell the person I'm working with to do something, and they wouldn't get it, or they do the wrong thing. So it's very, very important. Other thing, um, this is the advice I gave to people who I worked with beforehand in India. Go on YouTube and look at videos on how to speak like a North American person. As I don't know, hopefully it doesn't sound racist at all, but people want to deal with people that that they're like them. So there are lots of videos on YouTube on how to use a North American accent. I mean, you see people, I'll just look at people on TV and movies like Tom Holland, right? Plays Spider-Man and all the things like that. He has a very, very thick English accent. And so people would never know it because he's learned how to speak like a North American person. He's used coaches and voice people, right? And they want to know that you're the person who number one gets them. I would say concentrate on maybe do some content marketing on that. On people, why do people have a challenge working with people in India? Well, these are the reasons, and this is how I'm different, right? And really try to think about what people have said to you or what challenges you've had with people. Have you had any communication challenges? Obviously, working with people in India, there's always that time differential, which really, if I needed some to talk to my guy in India, I always had to do it like at 8 or 9 a.m. because that was their 10 or 11 p.m. in India, and I felt that was very, very challenging. So you got to think about, from a person in North America who is looking at the other way going backwards, what challenges or problems have they had, and what can you possibly do to alleviate people who are thinking about that. So the big market is in North America, it's in Canada and the US, and you need to make sure that your profile and the things you're doing let the people in Canada, US know that, hey, I gotcha. I know the USA, I know Canada, I know how people think in there. And then talk to people in Canada and USA who are maybe our clients and ask them questions like, how do you think? What are your challenges you've had? Right? Ask people around you what challenges they've had, and then do content on addressing those challenges and coming up with solutions for them.
Right,
Make
right, right.
sense?
Understood. Thank you so much for the advice. Just one last
Yeah,
question I
go
have.
ahead. Yeah.
The main challenge which I face is like I do cold emailing, right? So for me, the most challenging part is to get them on a call, because the first conversation has been done through an email, right? So just to ask them to appear on the call is the main challenge for me. So how to tackle that? Is there any strategy, like the people over there, like they expect what sort of thing in that cold email which will convince them to get on a call, like proof of work, any past client work, your
Yeah,
expertise, your
past client
approach
work,
towards work?
expertise, those kind of
Okay.
things, right?
Okay.
So I'm just talk to someone who wants the thing here. Out the form. Blink, blink. Okay, there. Yeah. So I mean, like I said beforehand, you answered this, Amberly. Also, you've worked with people in India ever?
Yes.
Are you asking me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Have you worked with people in
Okay,
India?
so
Or
Yeah,
is
well, it's interesting. 'Cause what is your business actually, Hermione? What is
yeah,
your
she's
so
business?
we are getting into
digital
digital
marketing?
marketing. Yeah,
Digital
digital
marketing.
marketing and branding. Yes.
Okay, okay. So India, I've had a lot to do with it, meditation and spirituality and that kind of thing. That's what I think of India for. But I have also had what's it called, like a VA type arrangement.
Yeah.
But communication was a huge problem. So although there was some benefits, it was also eventually it was like I'll just do it myself, because by the time I'd explained what I wanted, it was like, and I'd worked out exactly what I wanted. It was like, do you know what? It's just like writing a list to yourself. And then I wanted to do it because there was so much in the communication. So if you can actually address, I think people know that. And if you can address that in your content, then
Do a
that could,
funny video. Here's a funny video. Let me show. Go to my screen here for a second. I'll just pull it up and show you guys.
or you make it part of your brand and you go
Yeah.
all, you know.
Yeah, I was going to show you a video that I did with my client over here that it maybe make a funny video like this over here that people look at and go, "Oh, yeah, this here." Next video here. Um, Maybe this is it here. Yeah, here it is. Give me a second. I was going to share my screen again here and then do the share screen. Okay, so here's a funny video I did for client.
I know I'm just a CFO, but a buddy of mine does these webinars, and he really swears by them. I know I'm in HR, but don't you think I'd make a great influencer? I had an idea for a viral video that we could put on TikTok. So I was talking to my wife last night, and she had an idea for a white paper.
So maybe make a funny video of what people from North America say, what people from India hear, right? And the challenge that comes with it. But something funny, right? Make fun of the situation and say, hey, you know what? I solved this. And once again, go into those videos on YouTube and try to get rid of that Indian accent a little bit. It
Okay.
what sounds great, but it's just life. It's what it is what it is, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
Anybody else? One question in the
Thank
group
you so
chats.
much.
Is it
So much,
okay to be
Ali.
in group chats on LinkedIn? Someone says group chat, red blank block profile. No one blocks your profile on group chats on LinkedIn. No, that's called a pod sometimes, where people are posting their content in a pod and they get other people to engage with their content, and you do the same thing on their content. They're called LinkedIn pods. I actually got a pod on my own here. Let's get the URL for it. Give me a second here. Business and groups. Here we are. Here is my, let's go back here. So you can join this one and then post your content, and hopefully people will engage with their content on my group here. Over 2,000 members. So that when you post and what you do is you go to your piece of content you just published on LinkedIn, go to the three dots on the top left-hand side, and then go copy link to post, and then you put that post link into the group pod in the chat box, and then what happens is take a second to cycle as far as that little wheel that flies around, and all of a sudden your post will show up with a graphic of the video on there, and you can get people to engage in your stuff here as long as you do the same for them. So those are called LinkedIn pods. Yay! All right, people. Oh, somebody else. Okay. Why do some people only offer to follow with some you can connect with? They have it set on their back end of their profile, especially if they have over 30,000 connections already. They've set their profile to follow only. Now, you can go and send them a connection request still by clicking on the three dots on their profile on the more section, like here. So share. Let's go here to anybody on LinkedIn at all. Let's go to Jacqueline Park. Oh, that wasn't it. That was just a thing here. John, here's John profile here. So if John has his thing set to follow only, I can still go to the more button here and go to connect. Still has a connect button here on the more button. He's on my first connection. So let's say connect over here. Right now mine says remove connection, but it says connect there. So you can still connect with somebody who only has follow on their profile. But you can go on the back end here under your settings and privacy, and that's where you set in the back end here, and your preferences and your settings. Okie dokie. There you go, people. Well, I know it's way past the hour now. Thank you for staying today. Fill out the form. Give me some feedback. Let me know if you did a great job or a terrible job. I want to know. And hope you all have a great day. And people do fill out the form. We'll get all my goodies at the end. Thank you, Amber Lee. Have a great day. I'm looking forward to talking to you on LinkedIn sometime. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Alan.
Yeah. Thank you, Guy. Bye-bye.